Chapter 1181. Nicely done, Jack. I ought to talk to Mr. Graham about giving you a bonus. Ethan clapped Jack on the shoulder after praising him. He was more than pleased to see the pile of rubble that had moments ago been Justin's mansion. He even took pictures of it with his phone and sent them to Benjamin, who had gone back to the hospital after leaving the police station. All this had happened within an hour, and by the time Benjamin got back to the hospital, Orissa was still sound asleep. He did not have much of a reaction when he saw the pictures Ethan sent him. He had expected nothing less. Presently, Jack looked at Ethan and pointed out somberly, "I was just doing what I do best." "It's nothing, really," Ethan chuckled. "Now that we've done our job, shall we go get a drink?" Jack hesitated. "I haven't seen the kids for a while. I want to go to Yaleview." He had been dispatched elsewhere after he returned from Rutasii village. Today was the first time he had been summoned back in a while. "I don't think the kids are at Yaleview right now, so you won't be able to see them even if you drop by," Ethan said, smiling. While they packed up and got ready to leave Justin's compound, Jack asked curiously, "Where are the kids then?" Having left two men in charge of keeping an eye on Justin's every move, Ethan left to grab supper with Jack. Mr. Watts brought them back to his place, and they'll be staying the night there. "Looks like you'll have to wait until tomorrow to see them." Jack sighed. "Guess so. I mean, it's not like I could barge into the Watts residence and demand they hand the kids over, right?" He packed up the weapons he usually carried on his person, then patted his chest and said decisively, "Come on, let's go get a drink." Ethan's eyes twinkled with mischief. "Put the drinks on your tab tonight and I'll put a good word in for you with the boss." Jack cast him a sidelong glance. "Ethan, you earn more than I do, and this is my first time back in Delmore after so long. Are you seriously expecting me to buy you a drink? Shouldn't you be the one giving me a grand welcome?" Chuckling, Ethan was just about to say something when he got a text from Benjamin, "Nicely done." His eyes lit up at this, and he excitedly showed Jack the text as he said, "Look, Jack. Mr. Graham just praised us. How about we let him buy us drinks instead?" Jack did not mind. All he wanted was a drink after a long day. "Talk to him and see what he says, not that it matters as long as I get to drink." Ethan gave Benjamin a call. It took a while for Benjamin to answer, but as soon as the call got through, Ethan said sheepishly, "Mr. Graham, it's all thanks to Jack that we pulled off the operation this time. Since he only just got back to Delmore, should we give him a warm welcome?" Benjamin had no objection to this. He thought Jack deserved to blow off some steam after all the hard work he had done outside of Delmore. "Go ahead and put the bill on the company's tab." Ethan chuckled and gave Jack a knowing look. "Thanks, Mr. Graham. We'll be going for drinks now." Jack wanted to speak to Benjamin, but before he could ask for the phone, Ethan hung up. "Mr. Graham doesn't have time to hear your report. He's busy keeping Mrs. Graham company. If it's nothing important, you can wait until tomorrow to talk to him about it." Jack was driving. "It is something important. It's almost time to assess the recruits on the island, and I have a ton of things to tell Mr. Graham." He snapped. "How's the crop looking this time round?" Ethan asked out of friendly concern. Jack was put in charge of running the base, and Benjamin and Ethan only dropped by once in a while for inspection. "There are a few good ones, but they're not as good as we were back in the day," Jack admitted ruefully. Ethan pursed his lips. He and Jack were men who had endured countless battles and survived. It would be unreasonable to expect young people these days to attain that same standard. "Did you not stick to the training regime?" Jack frowned. "Of course I did, but the new recruits just aren't good enough. You should bring this up with Benjamin." "Perhaps it's an aptitude thing," Ethan suggested. He knew what the situation was like on the island. Right now, there was a shortage of recruits with raw talent in this field. Some people simply weren't cut out for the job, no matter how brutal the training regime might be. "Disqualify those who don't pass the assessment this time. Remember, we always prefer quality over quantity," Ethan added for good measure. The cream of the crop was what they needed. "Relax, I won't go easy on them," Jack promised. He was never one to compromise, especially when it came to assessments at the base. Chapter 1182. Ethan and Jack went to their usual haunt. They had invited their friends too, including Kingsley and Sean. At the hospital, Sean had finished his ward round and dropped by Arissa's room. There, he told Benjamin, Ethan and the gang are getting drinks right now. Would you like to go? No, Benjamin replied. He wanted to stay with Arissa. You can go without me. Sean gave him a knowing smile. Arissa's fine for now. Are you sure you don't want to go? Yes, I'm sure. Benjamin gave Sean a sharp look, then closed the door and headed into the bathroom to take a shower. Sean quirked his brows and turned to address the bodyguards stationed by the door. I'll grab you guys supper on the way back. These bodyguards had to stay here and protect Benjamin and Arissa at all times, so they couldn't attend the gathering. They said gratefully in unison, "Thanks, Mr. Bailey." After that, Sean put on a change of clothes and headed to the club. When he reached the door of the lounge, he heard Jack ask Kingsley, "Mr. Watts, how come you didn't bring the kids over? Are you stupid? Look around you. Benjamin would kill me if he found out I brought the kids to a place like this," Kingsley said, smacking Jack in the head. He wondered where Jack's common sense had gone. Why would anyone in their right mind bring children to a club? Jack rubbed the back of his head dejectedly and grumbled, "Use your words, man. You don't have to go around hitting people to make a point." Ethan looked at them in amusement. When he noticed Sean's arrival, he quickly beckoned him over for a drink. "Jack, long time no see. Looks like you've gotten tanner," Sean greeted cheerily as he appraised Jack. Under the lowlights, the man's skin had an olive hue to it. Jack laughed, his muscles coiling under smooth, tanned skin. "The assessment is coming up, so I've been kicking the training into high gear." Sean and Kingsley exchanged a brief glance. They would have forgotten all about the assessment and training had Jack not brought it up. "Thanks for holding down the fort, Jack," they said. They only went back to the base every once in a blue moon, so it fell to Jack to take charge of matters there. "Just doing my job," Jack replied insouciantly as he took a big gulp of beer. It was rare that they got together like this. For the most part of the night, their glasses were full and they drank to their heart's content. Presently, Miranda showed up at the club with her friends. She was walking past the lounge when she heard the raucous laughter coming from inside. Seeing that the door was left ajar, she peeked into the lounge and suddenly caught a glimpse of Kingsley's familiar profile. Her eyes lit up at once. If Kingsley's here, then Benjamin must be here too. She quickly told her friends, "Hey, my tummy isn't feeling too well. I think I need to use the restroom. You girls go ahead without me." "Okay, but make it quick," one of her friends replied. Whenever nature called, the girls were always too embarrassed to use the adjoining restroom in the lounge. As such, they did not think much of Miranda's situation and merely headed into their lounge. Miranda waited until they were out of sight before she pulled out a mirror and fixed her hair and makeup. When she was satisfied with her appearance, she pushed open the door to Kingsley's lounge and went in. "Why, if it isn't Kingsley. What a coincidence." She greeted Kingsley as though they were the oldest of friends, then swept her gaze across the room. Men, all of them are men. More importantly, all of these men boasted perfect physiques. Even though none of them were as handsome as Benjamin, they were still considerably good-looking. "Oh, and Mr. Bailey's here too." Miranda's heart skipped a beat when she noticed Sean among the men. From the looks of it, the heirs of Delmore's most prestigious families were gathered in this lounge tonight. Miranda wasted no time in greeting Sean. "Mr. Bailey, I'm Miranda York." She even flipped her hair over her shoulder and presented what she thought was her best-looking side to Sean. Sean was bewildered. He looked at Kingsley, only to see the latter frowning with unbridled contempt in his eyes. Seeing that Miranda and Kingsley appeared to know each other, Sean asked her bluntly, "Who are you?" Miranda bristled slightly at his question, but she maintained her smile as she said, "It's me, Miranda. I'm so glad to run into you here, Mr. Bailey. So, is this a friendly gathering?" She surveyed the lounge once more and was a little disappointed when she did not see Benjamin. Her real target tonight was Benjamin. As far as she was concerned, he was the only man who was worthy of her. Meanwhile, Sean's smile was polite but distant. He leaned close to Kingsley as he asked, "Do you know her?" Chapter 1183. Kingsley smiled disdainfully. She knows me, but I don't know her. His voice was neither loud nor soft. However, everyone in the private room could hear it, let alone Miranda. It was like a slap in Miranda's face, and she felt a little embarrassed. Mr. Watts, stop joking around. We've met each other a lot of times before. My sister knows you very well too. Miranda had no choice but to bring up Arissa. I am going to bloody teach Arissa a lesson after I win Benjamin over. Miranda thought she had everything under control, and on top of that, she was extremely confident with her wishful thinking. Ethan knew what kind of person Miranda was. He rolled his eyes at her scornfully. How can she have the nerve to bring up Arissa? What a shameless woman. Arissa doesn't even recognize Regan as her father, let alone Miranda as her sister. She has cut ties with them. Yet, Miranda is here trying to act like she is close to Arissa. I'm indeed close to your sister, but what does that get to do with you? Moreover, you no longer have any relationship with Arissa. Why are you here pretending like you're close to us? Don't you feel that you're too thick-skinned? Kingsley retorted. Kingsley could see the ambitious look in her eyes. After all, he had seen a lot of people like her in the entertainment industry. Miranda put on an aggrieved expression and looked like she was about to cry. Arissa was just saying it out of anger. I came here to greet you, thinking that you are friends with my sister. Little did I expect that you would see me as someone like this, Mr. Watts. What an arrogant bastard. Wait till I get Benjamin. I'll surely ask him to teach you a lesson. You'll have to acknowledge me as Benjamin's woman someday. Miranda was elated thinking about how Kingsley was going to show her respect in the future. Sean finally got the picture. Miranda was Arissa's sister. However, he was quite puzzled. Despite knowing Arissa for so long, he had never heard her talk about her family. She probably isn't close to them. Upon understanding the situation, Sean drank his wine quietly and listened to Kingsley's retorts. That's not necessary. Everything will be fine as long as you don't show up in front of us. You're just spoiling the fun. We don't even want to say hi to you. Kingsley gave Miranda a contemptuous glance which made her extremely uncomfortable. Miranda was so angry that her eyes reddened. Mr. Watts, why do you have to say such hurtful words? I'm just here to greet you. I have no other intentions. Narrowing his eyes, Kingsley suddenly had an idea. I was just joking with you earlier. Did I scare you? If Arissa knows about this, she is going to reproach me for bullying you. He leaned over to pour himself a glass of wine. I'm sorry about just now. I'll finish this wine to express my apology. Kingsley changed his attitude out of the blue. He was apologetic and beyond gentle. Miranda thought he meant it for real. Sean, Jack, and Ethan sat at the side to enjoy the show. They wondered what Kingsley was up to. No worries. Seeing that Kingsley finished the wine without any hints of hesitation, Miranda was even more certain that he was really joking with her earlier. It's rare for us to bump into you at this club. Come here, have some drinks with us. Go ahead and order what you want. Kingsley stood up and pulled Miranda to sit in between them. Then he poured her a glass of wine too. My friends are still waiting for me. Miranda put on a reserved front, but she was cheering in her heart. Compared to the group of heirs, her friends were nothing. She didn't mind ditching her friends for the sake of these heirs. As long as she could get acquainted with Kingsley and Sean, getting close to Benjamin would no longer be a problem. Oh, you have friends with you. Kingsley sounded a little disappointed. Why don't you bring your friends over? It'll be merrier with more people. He suggested the next second. Miranda was at a loss for words. Chapter 1184. It took her a lot of effort to get in touch with Kingsley and the rest. How could she possibly bring her friends to meet them? If they came over and stole away her spotlight, wouldn't her effort be in vain? Her ego was at work. Fearing that her friends would spoil her plan, Miranda found an excuse to refuse Kingsley. Mr. Watts, one of my friends is going to propose today. The private room has even been decorated, so it'll be rather inconvenient for them to join us. Kingsley curled his lips. He was simply asking earlier. I see. Don't call them, then. If the plan for the proposal is ruined because of me, I'm going to end up feeling guilty. Come on, let's drink. Kingsley poured Miranda a full glass of wine and gave it to her. Can you drink? Yes. Miranda took it over without even bothering to give it some thought. Kingsley gave the rest of them a look, and everyone came over for a toast. They were all a bunch of tough guys. Instead of saying anything more, they gulped down the drink. Miranda was already getting drunk before Ethan and Jack could make a move. Can you still drink? A hint of craftiness flashed across his eyes. Of course. Catching a whiff of his body scent, Miranda felt her heart beat fast, and her face flushed even more. Looking at how hard she was trying to please them, Kingsley snorted in his heart. Since this woman came here on her own today, I'll teach her a lesson on Arissa's behalf. Here, Kingsley poured Miranda another glass mixed with several kinds of hard liquor. Miranda wanted to get along with them. Hence, despite being drunk, she was determined to pull through. Hold back a little, don't cause trouble, Sean said to Kingsley. Don't worry. Kingsley gave him a look and continued to let Miranda drink. After drinking several glasses of hard liquor, Miranda finally couldn't take it anymore. She passed out directly on the table. Kingsley let out a mocking laugh. Mr. Watts, how are we going to deal with her? Ethan asked. We came here to enjoy ourselves today. Having her here just spoils the fun. If it weren't because Kingsley wanted to set Miranda up, Ethan would have asked someone to throw her out, throw her back to her private room. Kingsley didn't care about her safety at all. If something bad happened to her, she could only blame herself for it. The place was owned by Kingsley, so it wasn't difficult to find out who Miranda came with. After asking the manager, Ethan got to know the private room that Miranda had been in previously. Ethan told someone to leave Miranda at the door of that private room and walk away after knocking. When the people in the private room heard the knock, a woman went over and opened the door. Seeing that the drunk lying on the floor was Miranda, the woman smiled mockingly with a plot in her mind. She couldn't stand Miranda and had long wanted to teach the latter a lesson for fighting over the man with her. Drink, Miranda shouted. The woman pretended to be kind and helped Miranda up. I'll bring you to the room. I'm so happy to know you guys. I can still drink. Miranda followed the woman obediently, not knowing that the woman was taking her away from the club. The woman brought Miranda to a nearby hotel. Kingsley and the rest stayed in the club all night long, enjoying the fun to their heart's content. Whatever happened between them and Miranda earlier was just a little interlude. In the hospital, Arissa woke up right after Benjamin had fallen asleep. She was only sitting up when he opened his eyes and supported her at once. Honey, what do you want to do? I want to use the restroom. Arissa narrowed her eyes, feeling a little groggy. For a moment, she didn't know where she was. Seeing that she was in a daze, Benjamin directly carried her to the bathroom. After relieving herself, Arissa was slightly more energetic. Lying back in bed, she sensed her stomach growling. What time is it now? Sparing a glance at his watch, Benjamin replied, 12:30. Arissa looked at him pitifully. Benjamin smiled dotingly. What's wrong? I'm a little hungry. Chapter 1185. What do you want to eat? I'll get someone to go and buy it. Benjamin sat up and was about to walk out to ask the bodyguards to buy some food. It's late now, so just see if there's anything to eat around the hospital. Anything will do, Arissa said after a moment's thought. Benjamin pinched her nose and tucked her in. Then he went out to ask the bodyguards to buy some food. Be quick, buy those freshly cooked ones. Tell them that they are for a pregnant woman, Benjamin stressed as he was worried that the bodyguard wasn't attentive enough and might buy something that Arissa couldn't eat. Noted, Mr. Graham. The bodyguard hurriedly went to buy supper. When Benjamin turned around to enter the ward, he paused for a moment and asked the other bodyguard, Is Sean back? I didn't see him. Mr. Bailey said he would bring us supper. I think he isn't back yet, the bodyguard reported. They were still waiting for their supper. It was already past midnight, and Sean still hadn't returned yet. The bodyguards almost drooled upon seeing the photos of good food sent to them. Sean and the rest didn't seem to be coming back anytime soon. Call Miguel up and tell him to buy supper for you guys too. After saying that, Benjamin went back to the ward. Arissa was still awake. Do you want to have some water? It's going to take some time for Miguel to come back. Benjamin poured her a glass of water. It's okay. I'll wait for the food. Orissa lay on the bed lazily and fixed her eyes on Benjamin. Seeing how obedient she was, Benjamin smiled faintly. Half lying on the bed, he slowly drank the water. As Orissa watched him drinking the water, she swallowed her saliva subconsciously. When Benjamin looked down at her, a hint of joy flashed across his eyes. Are you very hungry? Orissa smiled. My stomach is growling. Pinching her face, Benjamin comforted her gently. Do you want to have some fruits first? Orissa shook her head. I'll be hungrier if I eat fruits, so I'll just wait. Benjamin phoned Miguel to urge him to be faster. At that time, Miguel had only left the hospital and was looking for restaurants that were still open. After being urged by Benjamin, Miguel hurriedly ran over and ordered seafood aglio e olio, chicken, bolognese pasta, and some grilled chicken wings. Please be faster. Cook the seafood aglio e olio and chicken bolognese pasta first. I'll come back and take the grilled chicken wings later. Got it. The cook prepared both the pasta at the same time. Hence, when the chicken bolognese pasta was done, the seafood aglio e olio was almost done too. Miguel paid for the food and returned to the hospital in a hurry. After telling Peter to send the food to the ward, he dashed back to the same place to wait for the grilled chicken wings. Mr. Graham, Miguel has ordered some grilled chicken wings, but they are not done yet. Mrs. Graham, you can have these first, Peter said. Orissa smiled. Miguel knows my taste. Thanks. Peter left after putting down the food. Taking a look at the noodles, Benjamin asked, there are seafood aglio e olio and chicken bolognese pasta. Which one do you want? Let me see. Orissa cast a glance and felt that she wanted to eat both. Seeing that she was having a hard time choosing, Benjamin smiled and put them on the small dining table. Just eat both. Aren't you eating? Orissa looked at him. I'm not hungry. Eat it first. If you can't finish, I'll eat it later. If the others heard what Benjamin said, they were going to be so impressed with him. Back then, Benjamin wouldn't even eat anything like that, let alone someone else's leftovers. Orissa chuckled. After having a few mouthfuls of the chicken bolognese pasta, she felt that it was a bit oily, so she didn't continue eating it. I'll eat the aglio e olio. You can have this. The aglio e olio tasted great with some additional ingredients in it. It had balsamic vinegar added to it, so it was a little sourish. Sadly, there were no chili flakes. It would have been better if there were chili flakes in it. Benjamin was amused. You like spicy food now? Orissa smiled. Perhaps her taste had changed a little after getting pregnant. I've been eating simple and bland food every day. I need to have something spicy to have an appetite. If you want, I can get Miguel to bring some back for you. Benjamin doted on her. He immediately called Miguel to bring back a bottle of chili flakes. Chapter 1186. Soon after, Miguel came back with a bottle of chili flakes. It was only enough to be eaten for a meal. Mrs. Graham, your chili flakes. Miguel gave her the bottle first before wiping off the sweat on his head. Thanks, Miguel. Here, wipe your sweat. Orissa handed him a piece of tissue. Don't worry about it. Taking over the tissue, Miguel felt flattered. He took out the supper and put it on the bedside table. I've ordered some grilled chicken wings too. Enjoy them with Mr. Graham, Mrs. Graham. All right. Orissa nodded with a smile. Take some and share with Peter. Ours is here, Mrs. Graham. Miguel raised his hand and showed her their supper. Benjamin spared Miguel a glance, signaling him to stop talking. You can leave now. When Miguel met Benjamin's sharp gaze, he trembled all over and hurriedly left the ward. Oh, my, Mr. Graham gets jealous so easily. With a long face, Benjamin looked at the grilled chicken wing and thought that they looked delicious. Looking at Benjamin, Orissa added the chili flakes to her aglio e olio and asked, do you want some chili? Nope. He took out the grilled chicken wings and fed her with the fork. Delicious, she said, her face glowing. Slow down. It's hot. His expression was beyond gentle. Yep, eat it too. It's so tasty. Orissa couldn't have enough of it. Crinkling her eyes into a smile, she said, I want more. Benjamin smiled. While taking a chicken wing, he joked, "I'll eat this first." When he saw Orissa swallowing her saliva upon looking at him pushing the chicken wing toward his mouth, he was amused. He turned his fork around and fed her instead. Orissa was delighted. She looked so pretty that it was hard for him to take his eyes off her. "Thanks, darling." Hearing her soft and sweet voice, Benjamin felt his heart melt. He continued feeding her chicken wings. After having 4 of them, she ate her aglio e olio. It has really gotten a lot tastier after adding in the chili flakes. She was full of praise. Smiling, Benjamin took over the chicken bolognese pasta and sat by the bed to eat together with her. "Darling, there are 2 chicken wings. Let's take one each." Orissa took out the chicken wings and gave one to Benjamin. Then she began eating hers. She finished most of the supper. Benjamin only had a little. Meanwhile, Miguel and Peter were also eating their supper outside the ward. Miguel asked, "Do you think Mr. Bailey will still bring us supper?" "I don't think so. He's not even back yet until now. Mr. Graham must have guessed that he won't come back fast. That's why he told you to buy supper," Peter replied. "Are they going to stay up all night?" Miguel was surprised. "It's hard to say. Mr. Jack is back. They must be having a great time. They flaunted their photos earlier. Let's flaunt ours too," Miguel said. Overjoyed, Oliver urged Miguel to do it faster. "You should have taken some photos earlier before giving Mrs. Graham the supper." Miguel's eyes widened as he felt slightly regretful. "Oh, yay, how could I forget about that? Just now, Mr. Graham urged me to buy the chili flakes. I was in a hurry to come back, so I didn't take any photos." "Take it next time. Let them envy us," Miguel echoed. "Yes, our supper isn't any lesser than theirs. I even bought this." He laughed. Chicken wings. Crouching by the door, they had a pleasant time eating the chicken wings. "There's no beer," Peter muttered softly. Miguel chuckled. "We're on duty. We can't drink beers." "That's true." Peter directly sat cross-legged on the floor while savoring the chicken wings and eating the pasta. Inside the ward, Benjamin could hear their conversation clearly. He curled the corners of his lips. Chapter 1187. "Why are you laughing?" Orissa asked curiously. Benjamin's smile grew wider. Miguel and Peter are also eating chicken wings. They even took photos to flaunt it to the rest. Surprised, Orissa gave him a strange look. "How did you know?" She didn't see him checking his phone too. Raising his brows, he gestured at the door. "Can't you hear them chattering outside?" Orissa didn't hear any voice. "Your hearing is so good." Benjamin nodded proudly. "No matter how soft it is, I can still hear it." Orissa's mouth twitched. She didn't believe that he could hear her talking about him in her heart. Staring at her, he asked faintly, "Are you cursing me inwardly?" Orissa was rendered speechless. "Can you not be so sharp?" She smiled sheepishly. "I was complimenting you. Perhaps no one can beat you in this skill. You should sleep now." He caressed her head. Flitting her eyes from him to the dining table, she said, "Move the table, please, darling." Hearing her calling him darling so many times made him feel happy. "Your darling will do it right away." Benjamin immediately moved the dining table away from the bed. Orissa blushed. When the table was taken away, she lay down to sleep. Benjamin finished the rest of the supper. After cleaning up the place and brushing his teeth, he went to bed. Despite having fallen asleep, Orissa still leaned closer to Benjamin when he lay on the bed. Wrapping her in his arms, he adjusted the blanket for her. The next day, when Miranda woke up and saw a stranger sleeping next to her, she was scared out of her wits. "Who are you?" she exclaimed. "Miss." The man was a disheveled beggar. She felt sick seeing his lecherous gaze on her. Slap. Miranda smacked his face hard and shouted in tears, "Shut up. I'm going to send you to jail." She couldn't believe that she had had sex with someone as lowly as him. Feeling uncomfortable all over, she pulled the bedsheet and wrapped it around her body. Just as she was hastily picking up the scattered clothes on the floor and putting them on, the door was pushed open by a group of reporters. They were busy taking photos of the situation inside the room. While holding the clothes, Miranda blocked her face with her other hand. Stop taking photos." However, she wasn't as fast as the reporters. Her face was clearly revealed in the photos. Judging from the mess on the bed and the fishy smell floating in the air, grown-ups would know what had happened inside the room. After taking the photos, the reporters didn't linger around the room anymore and left. Soon, the news about Miranda sleeping with a beggar in a hotel spread like wildfire on the internet and made it into the trending list. The netizens were shocked upon seeing the news in the morning. They wondered how thirsty she must have been for sex. Miranda rushed back home after leaving the hotel. Along the way, she couldn't figure out how she ended up in the room with that man. She had drunk too much yesterday. At the thought that a beggar had taken away her virginity, resentment and hatred washed over her. Soon, she gradually became clear-headed. Kingsley must have gotten me drunk on purpose. Miranda was aggrieved and angry. However, she couldn't afford to offend someone like Kingsley. Hence, she put all the blame on Arissa. If it weren't because of Arissa, Kingsley wouldn't have done that to her. Arissa, just wait and see. When Miranda returned home, she saw that her house entrance was crowded with reporters. Therefore, Regan and his wife couldn't even get out of the house and go to work. In fact, they were too embarrassed to step out of the house. Seeing Miranda sneaking in from the side door, Regan flew into a rage and slapped her face hard. "Bastard, look at what you've done. You've embarrassed me to the core." Regan's face was flushed. He shot daggers at Miranda, wishing for nothing but to kill her right there and then. Chapter 1188. After what had happened to Miranda, not only was she not comforted, but she was also slapped by her father. Feeling aggrieved, she roared, "Do you think I want to make you lose face? It's all because of that bitch daughter of yours. Are you still my father? How can you blame me without understanding the situation? What did I do wrong? You are not even remorseful. Are you saying that you've done the right thing by sleeping with a beggar? How despicable are you to be doing something so shameless? I didn't raise you up to have sex with a beggar." Regan wanted to slap her again but was stopped by Heather. "Regan, Mira has clearly been framed by others. Let's understand what happened first before you reprimand her. Mira, explain to your father quickly. Did Arissa set you up? I'll definitely seek justice for you." Heather's gaze was vicious. She was all charged up when she heard Miranda mention Arissa earlier. "How dare that bitch find someone to take advantage of my daughter? I'm not going to let her off the hook. I didn't do anything wrong. It was Arissa who plotted against me." Miranda wailed as she ran up the stairs. At that moment, she finally realized how bitter Arissa felt when she was slandered by them. However, not only did she not feel sorry for Arissa, but she also resented Arissa even more. "It's all because of Arissa. She must have known that I was trying to get close to Benjamin, and that's why she told Kingsley to deal with me. Now that I'm no longer a virgin, Benjamin is not going to have his eyes on me anymore." Worried that Miranda might seek to end her life, Heather went upstairs to check on her. When Heather saw her daughter's teary face and the state she was in, she felt distressed and resentful. "Mira, I'll seek justice for you. I will deal with that bitch right now. Have a rest at home. Don't go out for now." "Mom, I was drunk yesterday. I can't remember anything. Only when I woke up this morning did I notice the beggar, and then the reporters rushed in." Miranda threw herself into Heather's arms and cried miserably. "Since that bitch has nerves of steel to set you up, I will not give her a good time." Heather comforted her. A hint of viciousness flashed across her eyes. "Mom, what should I do? How am I going to show my face in the future? This is so embarrassing. Out of all men, it was a beggar who I slept with." Thinking about that, Miranda felt utterly disgusted. It wasn't until Heather comforted her for a long time that Miranda finally calmed down. Worried that Miranda would do something stupid, Heather assigned a housekeeper to watch over Miranda. Heather went to Graham Group angrily to look for Arissa but was stopped by the security guards at the entrance. "I want to see that bitch, Arissa York." Hearing her cursing their CEO's wife, the guards naturally wouldn't treat her well. "Buzz off. Not everyone can see our CEO's wife." Heather lost her balance. She staggered and fell to the ground. Furious, she got up and attacked the security guards. Graham Group's security guards were all bodyguards. Her fierce scratches weren't going to hurt them much. If you don't leave now, we'll call the police. The head of the security guards warned. Do it. I'm not afraid of you. I want to sue Arissa for using dirty tricks to plot against my daughter. I want her to suffer. That bitch has slept with countless men when she was underage. She even gave birth to illegitimate children. Is such a woman worthy of being your CEO's wife? Your CEO must be clueless about how messy her personal life was. Heather slandered Arissa with a loud voice. A lot of people had come over to take a look at the situation. The bodyguard stepped forward to restrain her. What nonsense are you talking about? How dare you slander Mrs. Graham? Mrs. Graham is a good woman, he snapped. Someone called Ethan up. When Ethan heard what was happening, he came down in a hurry to handle it. You've got some nerve there. Not only are you slandering Mrs. Graham, but you are also ruining her reputation. You're going to be sued for defamation. You are going to be thrown behind bars. Heather panicked. She couldn't break herself free. I'm speaking the truth. Send her to the police station. Ethan's gaze was sharp. He was going to deal with it personally. Chapter 1189. Not only did Heather fail to turn the situation over, she even got herself arrested at the police station. Ethan knew that Arissa was hospitalized, so he didn't dare to inform the latter about what had happened. He only reported the incident to Benjamin. Tell the lawyer to follow the procedure and press charges on her. Benjamin thundered. Heather asked for it when she insulted Arissa at the entrance of the company. Arissa glanced at Benjamin. Who has crossed him? She couldn't hear the phone conversation. So she waited for Benjamin to finish the call and asked, Darling, what's wrong? Benjamin was hesitant to answer her question. He merely fed her breakfast as he didn't want to affect her mood. Arissa knew he didn't want to talk and understood that she wouldn't get anywhere asking questions. Just as she was eating her breakfast quietly, the children called. The children greeted her and they video called for a while before the call ended. The children immediately went to school after that. Seems like they are having fun staying at Kingsley's place. Arissa chuckled as she spoke to Benjamin. The elders of the Watts family dote on them. They are almost the same as Dad. Benjamin wasn't worried at all that the children would be treated poorly. The relationships among the Watts family were a lot simpler than the Graham family. It was unlike the latter, which was filled with dirty schemes and shady plots. Arissa was pleased. They adapt well wherever they go. Arissa, have you seen the news? Miranda is so disgusting. Kingsley was eager for gossip when he found out something happened to Miranda. However, he never thought that the latter would be such a slut. Benjamin frowned as he didn't want the news to affect Arissa's mood. Unexpectedly, the information that he had guarded for the whole morning was leaked by the blabbermouth, Kingsley. Perturbed, Arissa looked at Kingsley, who had just rushed into the room, and asked, What's going on? Kingsley glanced at the couple. He smiled sheepishly when he met Benjamin's warning look. Just as Kingsley turned around and was about to leave, Arissa called out to him, Mr. Watts, tell me. Why are you chickening out? It's annoying when you say things halfway. With a sheepish grin, Kingsley peeked at Benjamin. Boss knows. Why don't you ask him? Kingsley instantly passed the buck to Benjamin. Boss obviously doesn't want Arissa to know. I'd be looking for trouble if I tell her what happened. Arissa turned to Benjamin. When their gaze met, he felt a little guilty. I was afraid that it would affect your mood. That's why I didn't let you know, Benjamin hurriedly explained. Seeing how Benjamin acted, Kingsley remarked internally. So there's a time when boss will wimp out too. You were talking about this too when you were on the phone. Looking at Benjamin curiously, Arissa pressed on and asked about the phone conversation he had before the children called. No, Benjamin looked at her as he explained, it could be because of that woman that her mother went to Graham Group and caused a ruckus. She cursed with some derogatory words, so Ethan sent her to the police station. Arissa's eyes flickered. Without asking, she already knew what insults Heather had spewed. When she was living at home, she had been listening to the curses, including all kinds of slander and accusations. Well done. Arissa praised Ethan. Benjamin was relieved to see that Arissa agreed to what he had done. How dare that woman defames you? I've let the lawyer take care of her. Thank you, darling. Please give me my phone. Benjamin quickly placed it onto her stretched out hand. Kingsley chuckled as he said, "Orissa, when we were gathering at the club last night, Miranda came to our room on her own and wanted to get close to us by using you as a connection. Isn't that funny? Didn't you already cut ties with them? That woman doesn't even have any sense of shame. She was so shameless that she wouldn't leave." Orissa looked at Kingsley as she nodded. "Indeed, I have cut ties with them. I have first-hand experience of how shameless those from the York family can be." Chapter 1190. She even put on a charade by acting aggrieved as if I had picked on her. When I realized I couldn't make her leave, I purposely let her stay and tried to get her drunk. Who would have guessed that she went all out? She drank all the drinks willingly without caring about any consequences. Kingsley told Orissa what happened the night before. Orissa went on the website, and it wasn't long before she found Miranda's name was trending in the headlines. It was highly ranked in the trending list and didn't seem it would fall out of trend soon. Orissa was shocked when she saw the title. Even if Miranda is at the bottom pit of her life, she wouldn't be so extreme to the point where she went for a beggar, right? After hearing Kingsley's words, she looked up at the latter and whispered, "You weren't involved in Miranda's incident, right? If Kingsley finds someone to plot against Miranda for my sake, it will be bad for him if the truth is exposed. This has nothing to do with me. Don't worry, Orissa, she brought this upon herself," replied Kingsley while sitting on the couch with his legs crossed. Orissa heaved a sigh of relief. "I don't have to worry about Heather if they are not behind this. Miranda can only blame herself for not knowing how to protect her own. Miranda and Heather used to scheme against me, and now, Miranda is the one who had fallen into someone's trap. She had finally gotten a taste of her own medicine. After the woman was drunk, we were afraid that something would happen to her, and she would hold us accountable. Hence, I found someone to bring her back to her friend's private room. When I read the news this morning, I was curious and investigated the surveillance footage of the club." "Haha, Orissa, do you know what I found out?" Kingsley's sharp gaze was filled with pleasure. "I'm not behind the incident, anyway. So, I'm just a gossipy bystander." "What did you found out?" prompted Orissa. Noticing that Orissa's attention was focused on Kingsley, Benjamin glared at the latter. "If you have something to say, just say it. Why do you keep us in suspense?" Kingsley laughed dryly and continued, "Miranda was set up by one of her friends who went to the club with her. A woman helped her out of the club and brought her to a nearby hotel. It's not hard to deduce that the woman brought the beggar into the hotel next. She is just getting what she deserved. With that kind of attitude, Miranda should have been reprimanded. I guess what goes around comes around. She can only blame herself for picking the wrong friends." "Then, why did Heather go to the company to curse at me?" asked Orissa. "From the looks of it, it seems like she was trying to settle the score with me." Orissa was bemused. Kingsley looked at Benjamin and shrugged. "I'd have to rely on boss for things that require thinking." Benjamin shot Kingsley a glance before turning his head to Orissa. "Ethan mentioned that Heather was saying that you were the one who instigated Miranda's assault. She made a ruckus at the police station and reported you to the police." Orissa was rendered speechless. Why is she blaming everything on me? I did nothing wrong anyway, so there's nothing to be afraid of. Even if the police come to collect evidence, they won't find anything as I have nothing to do with the case. Orissa wasn't worried at all. Benjamin turned to Kingsley and instructed, "Send the surveillance footage you retrieved to the police station." "Yes, boss." After bidding them farewell, Kingsley stood up to rush to the police station. "I've heard enough gossip, and now it's time to work for boss." Right after Kingsley left, two policemen came to the hospital to look for Orissa. They came to record a brief statement from her. Orissa was hospitalized since the afternoon of the previous day, and she never left after that. She also never interacted with Miranda's friend. Hence, it was obvious that the case didn't have her involvement. Seeing that Orissa was in good spirits, the two policemen also recorded a statement for the kidnapping case. Orissa provided every detail to all the questions asked by the police. "Sorry to trouble the two of you. Do you still need my wife's cooperation?" asked Benjamin. The police were almost done with their inquiry. We are done asking everything we want to know. Take a good rest, Mrs. Graham. We will definitely get to the bottom of this to punish the kidnappers and prove your innocence. Thank you, Orissa said gratefully. She didn't need to worry about those things as Benjamin had taken care of everything that required their attention.